to discuss how to eat a peach, and we want our customers to have the best peach eating experience that they can possibly have. So we're going to teach them how to handle their peaches once they get them. Well, there's two main factors that they need to watch for. One is the color, and see, this peach here has got a nice deep golden color right around the stem. Yeah, you don't want to, you know, the highlight, the red highlight color is deceptive. Our brain is genetically evolved to think that the color red is delicious and sweet, and so plant breeders have bred the color red into a lot of peaches nowadays, because the color red sells the fruit. But the real color you want to look for is the background color, which is usually right around the stem. It should be deep golden, not green. Compare. The background color here is pale green, and even up here on the front it's pale green. Over here it's deep gold. So that's one way to tell. The other way to tell is by touch and by even appearance. For example, this fruit, just even with gentle squeezing, I'm not squeezing it hard enough to bruise it, but just by the gentle, firm squeezing with your fingers, you can tell if there's a little bit of give there. That means that the fruit is almost ripe, not quite ripe. I would still leave this peach on the kitchen counter for another 2 or 3 days until it actually is soft to the very soft. Bruisable soft. The other visual way you can tell is shriveling. Now this peach has actually started to shrivel. See, there's some wrinkling here. To me, that's a sign of a really, really excellent peach. When you start to see the shrivel, that means that the water's content is starting to leave the fruit. Water does evaporate from the fruit after it's picked. The skin is very porous, and the water leaves the fruit and will shrivel or dry up. And that will intensify the flavors and intensify the eating pleasure of that fruit. Bruising is caused mostly by handling, by human touch. The pickers bruise the fruit when they pick the fruit. The packers bruise it when they put it in the box. You, the customer, bruises it when you take it out of the box. If you're buying fruit at the store, probably a dozen other customers have picked over that fruit before you got to it, and they've touched it. So, which by the way is a good reason to buy your fruit shipped direct to your house from the farm, to avoid that particular level of handling. But I'm looking at this piece of fruit here, and these are definitely finger bruises from picking, probably. Could be from packing as well. Bruising is not a bad thing. If I don't have a piece of fruit that's bruised, I think that piece of fruit was probably picked too firm in the first place. So, which by the way is the only kind of fruit you'll ever get in the store, because stores require that their fruit arrive without bruise. In fact, the store requirement is that the fruit be hard enough to withstand the rigors of retail, all that handling on the shelf. So by buying the fruit directly from Frog Hollow Farm, you're getting a piece of fruit that was left on the tree long enough to be actually tree ripe. And then what we try to do is pick it tree ripe, but not so ripe that it's going to over bruise, but there could be a little bit of bruising. And we're going to ship you fruit that will have a little bit of bruising on it, and you should not be concerned about that. You should just keep an eye on it and watch it, make sure that it ripens nicely the way I've been describing here, and you'll have a great eating experience. Okay, peaches should never be put in the fridge to ripen. They should always be left out at room temperature, on the kitchen counter or in a bowl. Touching or not touching, I would prefer them not to be touching. Spread out on the kitchen counter would be best. But if you want to display them in a bowl so that they look beautiful, that'd be fine. Just the main thing that you need to remember when you're storing and ripening your fruit at home is to check it every single day. And if I have a dozen peaches that I've brought to my house to eat over the next 2 or 3 days, I'm going to be checking every single one of those peaches carefully before I select the one I'm going to eat that day or that hour. And then that evening, if that's in the morning and later in the evening, I'll do that again. I'm always looking for that ripest piece of fruit. They change on an hourly basis. There's a lot of reasons why a peach such as our peaches are so sweet. You can't really point to single thing. Winemakers like to use the word terroir. Terroir refers to the soil, the climate, and the growing practices of that particular farm or that particular location. And so terroir is one reason why our fruit is so sweet. We've got great soil, we've got great climate here in the Brentwood area. We're located right on the Sacramento-San Joaquin River Delta in the Great Central Valley. And so we have hot summer days and very cool summer nights. And those cool summer nights help the tree produce more sugar. I think another reason that our fruit is sweet is because of the way we grow our fruit, the way we fertilize our soil. We use compost, we use fish emulsion, we use kelp seaweed, dried seaweed products, we use mined limestone. But I think our compost is going to be the real key going forward to making our peaches taste great. So in other words, it's how you fertilize the soil and enhancing the soil. We already have great soil, we have great terroir to begin with, as I mentioned, but we also do a lot of things to make it even better. We also leave the fruit on the tree longer than most people are willing to do, and that certainly adds that extra 10 or 15% higher Brix, higher sugar to our fruit. It's risky because the longer you leave the fruit on the tree, the more likely you're going to have of getting fruit that's too ripe, and that's going to have to be sent either to our processing kitchen. Fortunately, we have good ways of using the overripe fruit. It can either be sent to the dry yard or to the kitchen for processing. So, and then if the fruit that's too badly damaged for one reason or another can be sent to our compost heap to be part of that sustainable full circle of growing great fruit and then recycling all of the crop residues back into the soil in the form of compost.